So, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for Jacob. Thank you so much for that. And this is a different type of request. I did a video long ago about the user reviews. I gave Aliens 1 stars and just gave my reaction to it. So you wanted me to give my reaction to people who gave Alien 3 10 stars. Now, right off the bat, in all seriousness, if you liked Alien 3, to each their own. It just not my cup of tea. When I did that video on the 1-star Aliens reviews, one of the reasons I did that was because the reasons were so ridiculous that I thought was funny. Now, I know a lot of people like Alien 3. That's cool. So, yeah, I'm not going to make fun of people who have, sincere reasons. I get it. I mean, I don't yet, but at the end of the day, like what you want. It's fine. But when the first thing I see is Alien 3 in the gore, okay, so if you like Alien 3, take no offense. It's not meant for that. So, for people who feel Alien 3 is 10 out of 10, which I disagree with. I noticed something after I watched every Alien in AVP, the gore. Alien, not really that gory. Aliens get more intense. Alien 3, now this is where it peaked gore-wise for me. Perfect blood smeared all over the alien and his slimy head and his teeth slimy red spit. I don't remember that. I don't remember blood on the alien and slimy red. After Alien 3, it seems the gore level went down. What a shame. No, Alien Resurrection was shambles. Sure, it had gore, but it wasn't the same. It didn't have the gritty feeling of the other three aliens. That's true, but Alien Resurrection is the goriest. That's like Peter Jackson type of gore. You had a guy get his whole head fucked up that you literally picks a piece of his fucking brain out. I mean, if you're talking about gore, if you want gore, Alien Resurrection is more your cup of tea. AVPR. Oh, this was 2006, so AVPR had not even come out yet. That's why I love Alien 3. You cared about the prisoners, even though they were murderers and rapists. Wait. Wait. That's why I love Alien 3. You cared about the prisoners even though they were murderers. I think you mean murderers and rapists. And the best line in the movie is fuck. The best line in the movie is fuck. And that's why it's a 10 out of 10. The best line in Alien 3 is fuck. So many perfect death scenes with realistic amount of gore. Perfect. First off, no, I'm sorry. The murderers, or as you call it, the murders and rapists. I'm sorry, I didn't care about them. Why should I care about them? Why? Maybe Charles is Dutton, he's a good actor, but the others, no. Why did you care about him? What was it that you cared about him? Please explain. What is it about those prisoners that are likable, that you care? The best line in the movie is fuck? If your best line in the movie is fuck, there's something wrong with the movie. So many perfect death scenes with realistic amount of gore perfect. Granted, my English is not that great either, but this is written poorly. They need to take a page out of the book of Alien 3 and place it into the Alien Predator movies of the future terror to care about gore and a perfect creature from hell. Wonder how he felt about fucking Alien Covenant. That had gore. I'm sorry, gore is not... The end-all be-all for an Alien film. Oh my god. I got a headache now. I haven't looked at these before. Oh my god, what the fuck? Even if you like Alien 3, even you try to explain that to me. What he said. If you liked it, that's cool, but explain what that guy said. Everyone thinks this movie is a huge disappointment and one of the worst in the series. Are you kidding me? This film is incredible. Teach their own. Not only does it go back to the horror of the first film, it invents new brilliant ideas. Like the xenomorph. Xenomorph is misspelled, by the way. It's not X-E-Y. I don't think that's how you spell xenomorph, but okay. Being impregnated in a dog or cow and taking features of that creature. I don't know if I call that a brilliant idea, but okay. The setting is incredible, isolated, and eerie. I don't think that's how you spell eerie. Maybe I'm wrong. Is that how you spell eerie? I don't think so. Characters are great. Clemens and Dylan, I think Dylan's with an O, are awesome and complex characters. Clemens is not a complex character. Was complex about Clemens? I mean, well, I guess compared to the other characters, I guess you could say that. Ripley could not be better. Yes, she can. I saw that movie. The additional conflict with the company is incredible. They had that in the previous two films. Like, Ash is a goddamn robot. That was a conflict with the company. The second film with Burke, that was a conflict with the company. People who say that there did not need to be another movie after Aliens doesn't realize that the conflict with the company wasn't resolved in that film. It wasn't resolved in this film either. The film not only expands it, but also concludes it in the best possible way. I love Alien 3, my second favorite in the series. I don't get why people hate the film. You don't get why people hate the film? Because they decided to make the franchise to a funeral. Sorry, my cup of tea wasn't a funeral. And you label with a bunch of people that all I recognize, they got barcodes in the back of their heads, and they're all murderers, rapists, and assholes that I shouldn't give a shit about, and are ready to rape Ripley. As a fan of Aliens, you take a dump on that movie, make the entire ending of Aliens pointless. Her rescuing Newt, the whole fight with the alien queen. It was pointless. It was pointless. If the ship blew up at the end of Aliens, it would have the same effect and the same result. Yes, Aliens concluded the best way, in my opinion. She lost her daughter, she lost her livelihood, she lost everything. And by the end of Aliens, she recovered her soul and recovered her not having nightmares anymore. And a daughter. To each their own. If you like the film, fine, but when you go, I don't get why people hate it. The shitty effects of the xenomorph when it's in the wide shots. The up close is good, but the wide shots are fucking awful. I keep saying but it's not. I forget what technique that is. But with the awful skid around like a fucking cockroach. There's some good Alien 3. The music, some of the acting performances, the setting, the cinematography. I'll give you that. I'll give you the look, setting, cinematography. I'll give you the up-close effects of the alien. I'll give you the performances. I'll give you the score. But I'm sorry, the story, it just goes back to the first Alien. Well, you have barely any weapons, yet again. Even less so, because there's no flamethrower. And it's not like they had a lot of weapons in the first movie. And you go back to one xenomorph, yet again. It's not like a 180 difference. Let's see. So I'm reading this. It's pretty much just describing what happens at the movie. This review is, I mean, hell, this is kind of review I would do, just telling the entire film. Yeah, just it's explain what happened in the film and goes, this is a great movie. Now go watch and decide for yourself if you like this movie as much as I did. 12 out of 18 people found that helpful. This time it's different. The deed of killing an alien won't be that easy. The egg hatched and the face hugger attached itself to a dog. Also, Ripley has crashed into a prison planet with no weapons allowed. The closest things they have to weapons are fire axes and knives. When Ripley awakens, she finds out that Newton and Hicks are dead. At the funeral, the dog dies and we are introduced to a new breed of alien. Even I'm going, and you know me, I usually just say the plot of the movie, but even I'm going, this is not a review. And believe me, I know that's a defect I have with my reviews. It's hard for me to break it. The perfect chapter. It took a completely different path than the others, was more visually enthralling. I don't agree with that. And to the dismay of the general public, had anything but a Hollywood ending. But is that so bad? In my opinion, yes. The extended cut, assembly cut included in the box set is almost an entirely different film. No, it's not. I don't get that. Okay, I don't get this assumption that the assembly cut is an entirely different film. I have no idea what people are talking about. I've seen that cut. You want to know what's different? Instead of a dog, it's a cow. The one guy, there's a scene where they trap the alien and the guy thinks it's a demon and lets it out and gets killed for it. And a handful of other deleted scenes put back in. I'm sorry, it's not that different. Breadth of originality. What? It's not as original people make it out to be. It's yet again another alien killing people one by one in an enclosed setting. With no weapons. There's barely any fucking weapons in the first movie either. A flamethrower that didn't hurt the alien and almost like a cattle prod type of thing. It's not like they had a lot. Cinematography, score, I can agree to that. As I can be fair, I do say the cinematography, the score, I can understand that. Part 3 is more for adult than teenagers because it's very dark and depressing than other alien movies. Wait, what? Part 3 is more for adult than teenagers because it's very darker and depressing than other alien movies. I'm not sure if English is his first. That's fine. David Touch, it's everywhere. What? What the fuck? Oh, I did David Fincher's Touch is everywhere? Characters are more developed here than in other movies? What? What is so developed about Dylan? There's no development of his character. I like Charles Dutton as an actor. I like him because I like the actor. I liked his performance, but I'm not going to sit here and say it's really a developed character. Maybe Charles Dance, where you find out he was a doctor, he screwed things up. For some reason, him and Sigourney Weaver sleep with each other in 5 minutes. For some reason. Characters are more developed here. Most of them you can't tell who the fuck they are because they all have bald heads and fucking barcodes. Can't tell them apart. More developed here. His is for sure the best horror sci-fi movie ever made. No doubt. People, oh my God, this is hard to read. I'm sorry. It's so hard to read. This popped up, for fuck's sake. His is for sure the best horror SF movie ever made, no doubt. People who downscore of this movie don't like horrors. And the horror scale of this movie is perfect. 10 of 10 stars. My favorite movie of all time. To each their own, buddy. For sure, I think he meant for sure. People who downscore don't like horrors. Yeah, I don't like horror movies because I don't like this movie. Okay. Teach their own, man. I love this film, panned as it was for having no guns of violence by the people who probably think Michael Bay is an Oscar-winning director. I must think Michael Bay is an Oscar-winning director. That's the thing with Alien 3. Not all, but a lot of fans, they go on this high horse of, if you don't like it, you just don't get it. You're intellectually inferior. Really? A film where half the shit doesn't make sense? Yeah, you can blame that on how the film was made and the way they had to rewrite it every fucking day. But it's still the summation of the events that happen in the movie we have that's been released. If you like the film, that's cool, but don't give me this, you don't like it, so you're intellectually inferior bullshit. I don't like it because it's my cup of tea not to like it. It's my opinion not to like it. Alien 3 is passed off as a poor man's ripoff of the first movie. I agree. I stick with that. An amazing character film. I don't agree with that. The omission of Newton hits was in very poor taste and served no purpose other than to make the struggle of the events and aliens utterly pointless. While this does add to the nihilistic feel of the film, it still seemed like a bad move. Also, the killing off of such interesting characters like Clemens and Andrews seemed quite a strange decision, especially as none of the other characters, good as they were, got as much development. I agree with that, but that's totally different from the first thing going, if you pan the film, you think Michael Bay is an Oscar-winning director. But then you're going, yeah, this was bad. Yeah. And wait a minute, you said this was an amazing character film. But then you go, none of the other characters got as much development. But it's an amazing character film. To each their own, man. And it always goes back to David Fincher. I think if David Fincher had not directed Alien 3, I do sometimes wonder if it would get the pass it gets. I know that's shallow thinking, but if you don't like this, then you don't really have the intelligence to. When someone speaks like that, I'm like, fuck you. That's when my hostility comes into play with Alien 3. Not only because what he did to this, one of my personal favorite films, but that mentality is what pisses me off. I have fans who like, I have subscribers who love Alien 3. Love the Puss 79, nice guy, he loves Alien 3. That's cool. But at least, you know what he did not do? He did not say this to me. He did not say, well, if you don't like the film, you have no intelligence. At least he didn't do that. I'm cool with people who don't do that. This is what I have a problem with to bug up my ass about. Makes you go, fuck you. Not because you like Alien 3, but because you want to talk that shit. Fitting into the trilogy. Trilogy spelled with L's, apparently. 2 L's. Trilogy? 2 L's. Gritty, dark. That's all it goes back to, gritty and dark. You could kind of say that for the first Alien being gritty and dark. One of the most convincingly malevolent sci-fi films ever made. Apparently he thinks Pitch Black emulated this. Whatever, man. To each their own. After viewing Aliens 3, you mean Alien 3? Is an almost in an almost empty movie theater during its original short release, I had the feeling that I had just viewed a cinematic parable for the AIDS scourge. Really? You comparing this to AIDS parable? What? Where the fuck do you get an AIDS parable? A hetero female enters into the monastic penal colony setting and shows that regardless of their determination, she is the one symbol of gender purity that will not just haunt them, but very likely be the catalyst of a terrifying death and oblivion. That's not in the movie. What are you talking about? Was this AIDS? Okay, even if you believe that, okay, where does the AIDS parable come into play? Where? Where? Being a social deviant was presented as a curse that keeps on giving regardless of the setting or one's vague search for redemption or atonement. I guess I didn't see the same film these folks did. Sorry. What underrated movie? Movie's visually stunning, has a great cast, soundtrack is amazing. I only wish Hits wasn't killed off so soon. Seems like there's a growing cult following. I'm in. All he should be redirected toward Aliens 4 or whatever it's called. Alien Resurrection is what it's called. I don't agree. Oh my god, this one just to piss me off, I guess. The folly of Aliens fans is that they seem to not be able to digest horror in a horror franchise. This is horror, not bed knobs and broomsticks. What the fuck did bed knobs and broomsticks have to do with this? I don't even like that film. They prefer their horror films to be mindless shoot-em-ups with cool weaponry being wielded by tough people with big muscles. Aliens could have starred Sylvester Stallone. I wish it did. That'd be awesome. Sylvester Stallone is Hits? That'd be fucking awesome. They also cannot seem to be able to accept that in horror films horrible things happen. You mean like the first Alien, which people liked and is a horror film, buddy? Buddy, huh? You mean like the first Alien film? Bad things happen in Aliens as well. Characters I enjoyed got killed like Vasquez and Hudson. You keep saying this is horror, not Mary Poppins. This is horror, not Pollyanna. You're making these weird, out-of-the-blue comparisons that, with a horror film, people want Bedknobs and Broomsticks or Mary Poppins. You do know there's a vast array of films in between. I guess you don't think, I don't know, Halloween is a horror film? I enjoy that film. Nightmare on Elm Street. I enjoy that film. Jacob's Ladder. Tremors. See, I don't think you know the difference. You don't know the difference between horror and bleak. There are plenty of horror films I enjoy, but they're not bleak films. And maybe some people, did not want a bleak alien film. There's nothing wrong with a horror in an alien film. Bleak is different. They could come in the same parking lane, but just because it's horror doesn't automatically make it bleak. Jacob's Ladder. Tim Robbins, I think, is one of the best horror films out there. I wouldn't call it bleak. In a weird way, I would call it uplifting. In a weird, satisfying, I would call it an uplifting horror film. Just depending on how you feel religious-wise and your meaning on the film itself. No wonder only 4 out of 10 found this helpful, because this review is piss poor. I suppose Aliens fans would have preferred Ripley to lose her glass slipper in Alien 3, only have Hitch find and return it to her at the end of the film. And maybe get married in the prison colony. Or, you know, how about all 3 of them land and they have to deal with not only the paranoia of not being able to trust these prisoners. Hey, you want to be bleak? How about some of those prisoners are pedophiles? And that they look at Newt and be like, maybe you want to talk about fucking bleak and dark. There you go, that's pretty fucking bleak and that's pretty fucking dark. And Ripley beats the shit out of these pedophiles, and the alien kills some of these fucking pedophiles. There you go, that's fucking bleak, that's fucking dark. The mindless action-fest aliens with this big happy Disney ending is the black sheep of the original trilogy. Yeah, because the original Alien doesn't have a Disney ending, as you call it. Doesn't the first Alien have a happy ending? Do you hate the first Alien as well? Remember, Ripley are going to be picked up. Last survivor of the Nostromo. Signing off. Her and her cat. You know, the cat that she went back to save. By your definition, aliens sucked because they didn't kill the cat. She went back and got the cat. Oh, this is such a Disney move, because we didn't have the cats be safe. This is such a Disney move. Just to get our Disney ending, when not only her, but the cat is safe as well. This is bullshit Disney ending. You're a fucking tool. Not because you like Alien 3, but because your rationale makes you a fucking tool. Fucking tool. Aliens T2, 2 of the most overrated movies ever. David Fincher delivers one of his best films next to Seven and Fight Club. I don't agree. Each their own. I have nothing to say because he gives his reasons. I disagree, but he's not being a fucking tool like the other guy was. Let's find out why the rating of it is so low. Here are some points of a popular reviewer who has almost 100% support of their readers. At some points, the audience is bored stiff, and at other points, they are confused by the outlandish action sequences. Outlandish action? Was it too alien? Well, outlandish action as in you have a bunch of fucking bald people with barcodes in your heads. You can't tell them apart because they all look the same and there's nothing to their characters. That's probably why he thought he was confused. A disjointed mess that feels forced and rushed. Story seemed linear to me, and which one is it, boring or rushed? You two feel both, you do know that, right? Just because it's going fast doesn't mean you're not bored. People are like, really? Yeah. You tell me there's not a short film... Case in point, I saw this film Shadow in the Cloud. Technically you say it's rushed and it's only an hour and 15 minutes with at the end credits. So it may be rushing it because it's not... You know, it's not a long film. But if you're not into the story, you're not into the characters, it could be going as fast as you want. But if you don't care, then you have no heart or soul into the matter. You have no states involved in your brain and your psychosis. I don't give a shit what happens. And it got to a point like, I don't give a shit what happens anymore. Maybe they got bored from that. Wait a minute, disjointed mess that feels forced and rushed. Where did the guy say boring? Oh, okay, because he said it was bored stiff. You do know there could be moments that feel rushed, not the entire movie? So maybe that's what the person was saying. There are parts that are boring and there are parts that feel rushed. There are parts that feel rushed. Yeah, some of the characters, especially in the theatrical cut, which is what most people saw, does feel rushed. Like the one guy that disappeared, and then you see what happens to him in the extended cut. Disjointed? I didn't understand that. With the way the aliens handled and... Yeah, the one, I guess there were two facehuggers, but the movie makes it seem as if it's the same fucking one in the theatrical cut. Seriously, in the movie, it seems like the same facehugger got two people. Because it wasn't until the extended cut where you had the scene where there's another bigger facehugger found. I think they could have done a better job really showcasing there was more than one facehugger, more than one egg left on the ship. There's no real screenplay here at all. This is just saying it was bad without saying anything at all. How is this helpful? There was no real screenplay. Did you watch the making of the film? If you like the film, that's fine. But there was no real screenplay because they rewrote it all the time. They rewrote it all the fucking time. Charles Dunn is pretty good, but his character lacks development to really make him interesting. Everyone else is just present. Dunn's character needs no development. What do you want? Him finding Jesus again? I don't know. Charles Dunn could have a moment where he talks about a family he has. Maybe he's got a brother. Maybe an inkling of more so why he is there. What really brought him into that predicament that he's in, to the person that he is. Or maybe Ripley, why is he protecting Ripley so much? Maybe, okay, he loves Jesus, but maybe Ripley reminds her of, I don't know, reminds him of his mom because of strong character, or a sister I had. Does he have strong character like she did, or something? That's what the guy means about there's a last development. For example, the IQ of one of the guards who then later unexpectedly gives his life for what he believes in. Pretty strong character development. That's not really strong character development to know what their IQ is. More bashing without sound reasoning behind it. More like being butthurt that someone didn't like a film you did. I don't know how long this guy wanted me to go on. Because there's a lot of tens. A lot of tens. And like I said, if you like the film, to each their own. We have different tastes, I agree with that. Better than the first two? By the way, I'm 13. Thought the first Alien was quite slow. It's better than the first two, is a brilliant film. Alien 3 is way more suspenseful and scary, to each their own, kid. The plot was great, as well as the acting. You care about the character more than you did Aliens. Like those stupid Marines. Yeah, because you care more about rapists and murderers than Marines that wanted to save colonists. To each their own, kid. Can't understand why people hate it. I don't know what to tell you, kid. I don't know why I'm supposed to like a bunch of fucking rapists and murderers, but whatever. I'm the bad guy. Because I like the Marines and aliens, but I didn't like fucking rapists and murderers. God fucking forbid. Director's cut. I'm sorry, wasn't that fucking different, man? Don't agree with that at all. I'm kind of done. It's been 30 some minutes. Like I said, if you like the film, that's cool. I'm always going to hate the fucker. I hate what it did to this. I hate that it made it completely fucking pointless and useless. I don't care for the story. I do think it's disjointed because they had to rewrite shit every fucking day. I think some of the further away effects of the alien is pretty shoddy. I like Charles Dunn and Sigourney Weaver's acting, but Ripley wasn't really... I don't get why the fuck she would sleep with someone, a fucking criminal doctor, in 5 minutes. Hey, I went through all this shit, and this girl I protected went through all this shit, died. Hey, in 10 minutes I slept with this stranger fucking doctor that could slit my throat in my sleep. That you know jack shit about. But that's, great storytelling. Whatever, teach their own. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. This is not to get anyone mad who loves Alien 3. You go on loving it. That's cool. Not gonna change my mind. See you guys later. Bye-bye.